This is Accountants 2.0. I'm Steve Perpich, and with me is Ted Williamson.
Hello, everybody.
Today is a momentous podcast episode. It is step 11, the last step in our journey to become a new age accountant.
Guess what happens after this one? We actually, after this step, we actually release the book so that
there's the announcement. Yeah,
you know, those who subscribe to the newsletter can actually get the book, or you'll probably be able to purchase it or something if you wanted to. But it's usually free for everybody involved in our community, and if you are staying up to date with these things, so you will get all this in writing in front of your face.
That's great. And step 11 today is sustainable, social responsibility, and ethics. A policy is not a one and done. It's a everlasting process. So when we talk about sustainable social responsibility and ethics, there's just ways of conducting your business, and it all comes down to your policy. And we'll go right down the list. Our blog has it listed. Each one is a huge topic, which future versions of the book and various other things will expand on it. We're going to have talks on all this stuff. This is good stuff. Right off the bat, transparent reporting. So, which from an accounting perspective is kind of easy to do. Numbers don't lie. I mean, you're going to report what you are given. Now, of course, there's always disclaimers to the client. I mean, that a proper accountant does. Like, if the accountant is not doing an audit, they're trusting or they're assuming that the transactions they're receiving, the information they receive from the client is accurate. So based on the information you have at hand, though, there should be no obfuscation. The basic reports are done. It all leads back to, a P&L, a balance sheet, and you don't mess with that. And that should go without saying. But transparent reporting, forecasting, and various other reports, again, should have that as a bedrock. Should always refer back to the hard numbers, so that the audience knows that was not have a doubt where the source is for certain information to take action,
and that they can trust it.
Right, and that's a more of a mechanical, practical sustainability practice or responsibility practice. The other is like environmental responsibility, a little higher level. So environmental responsibility is a tricky one because you need to show that you're taking that responsibility from an ethical viewpoint, but also a PR viewpoint. But then there's extremes. If you honestly believe that you should not do carbon emissions, for example, but it's unrealistic if you're a logistics company to say, I'm never going to use a diesel powered vehicle like today, because that's probably your best economical option in most scenarios. When you're taking environmental responsibility, you have to be realistic. What I recommend is comply to municipal bylaws, okay? Stick to the letter of what's the public consensus is as far as bylaws. And then the extra mile could be, a little more organized in your recycling plan. If there is an opportunity to reduce carbon emissions or show some green initiative or renewable resource access, work out an action plan. Publish that to your things, even if you're not implementing or ready to implement it for half a decade. Show that you're doing it. And I go that way because you don't want a bunch of people showing up at your door when they don't have to, or if they've shown up at your door, you're going to want to do it for marketing purpose and hang out swag, not they're picketing. Don't become a target for no reason, and don't be controversial on that level. Accountants, though we want to promote a new age accountant with a more vibrant lifestyle and getting more time for yourself and your family and all that good stuff, it's not laissez-faire. You should be conservative in your approach to things. So as long as it's realistic, your environmental stuff could be covered.
Not politically conservative. We're not saying
we're just saying conservative in your steps for environmental responsibility. Well, that gets down to, you just segue, social inclusion. So social inclusion is a broad topic, okay? We're covering every aspect of people's lives, lifestyles, all that stuff, including politics. Do not recommend getting involved in politics, taking a political stand that's public with regard to your firm. Accounting, like the Constitution, like any bedrock document or field, like the medical field, law and order, judicial. These are things that should be the bedrock of society, and accounting is included. Do not profess a side. Your personal life is your personal life, but when you're serving clients and your client base, the numbers, a balance sheet is neutral because it's balanced. That should be your conduct when dealing with people. Of course, follow your conscience. If there's anything that you consider a non-starter, then you make sure that's in your policy. All right, spell it out. Do not be arbitrary, but it should be inclusive. Not only is that the legal thing to do, it will again save you from that picketing group in front of you that's potential that can cause disruption to your business. You can't take a side, and even professing that you take all sides is a side. So just don't enter into the conversation. Create a blanket policy that's aligned with, again, civic governments are pretty good as a template for statements of inclusion. Stick with your municipality or regional blanket statements on that and just conduct yourself accordingly, and get right back down to serving your clients and not even enter into the conversation again. Keep a low profile on that level. That shows that it frees you up to just be ethical. It stops the noise, and also it creates a lot of more calmness in the workplace too, because you don't want that internal arguments and things, and in your workplace as well. Ted, do you have a commentary on that?
No, I just think like when I think you just need to follow, the ethics of your governing body, really. Don't bring your own personal things into your accounting firm. Accounting, bookkeeping, dealing with finances. You are the bedrock of the economy, really. You are the ones who help it run, help the economy run, and you need to make sure that you're bipartisan. I mean, obviously everybody's different, like you said. You have to feel, right about a certain way, but definitely don't engage in a conversation. Just follow your, the guidelines of the AICPA or what other body you might gravitate towards if you're not mandatory to be a member. Definitely do that and stick just like the law. You should be nonpartisan. Just the facts are the facts. Finances are finances. That's it. When it comes to running business, there's ways to do it and there's ways not to. And that's the way
a good guideline is the ethics of those professional bodies. Even if you're not a member of certain professional bodies, your allies and your and the services do follow it. If you're aligned with those principles, two things are going to happen. You're not going to have any friction with the service you're providing, and you're going to build trust. And that's the currency that you want to create. You want to be trusted. If people feel you have a personal agenda, political agenda, sociological agenda, they're not going to trust you, because that's above and beyond and outside of generally accepted accounting activity or bookkeeping. You have to be the clean slate, so totally neutral when it comes to approaching the job at hand. Anything else, that means you're bringing something in, and again, you're going to cause problems. We're all human.
Yeah, if you think about your team, like you don't want them to have those conversations. They could get in arguments. People could leave because they think that you don't follow their beliefs and they feel hurt by that. That's a possibility too. So
they should not even. So they shouldn't even be spheres of conversation. And what I question a manager's acumen, if a manager has to delve into that type of thought pattern when managing people, then you're really not managing according to neutral principles. Yes, everybody can be friends, but you have to set clear lines saying, when it's work time, when we're doing our tasks, we're this. For going on a hike or doing something else and the clock's off, those debates are healthy and interesting and all good, but everyone's got to realize that game time's game time.
And separation between work and personal.
Yeah. So, and that comes with, again, clear responsibilities, tight policies. Everyone will get along better. This is not restrictive. This is actually quite permissive because it lets people do their job. Because at the end of the day, you're serving the client. You're not serving yourself. Yep. And that gets to the ethical thing. It is a selfless career. And many people during tax time grinding out those late hours, will realize that the self is not in consideration. You're doing the work to help all those clients
some
make sure they
people live
file
for
stuff,
tax
make sure
season.
they file stuff on time. So, but now efficiency and proper setup of your business, you'll have more time yourself, but at the same time, it is selfless. You
Some
are
people love
working,
that grind, actually. So, like, some people actually love tax season.
and
They get off on it, and they want to. They love the the income that comes from that big influx of income, right? But
that's great.
most people don't.
Right.
Most people
Well,
don't.
and for the exceptions that do, send us
Yeah.
your resume. For the
Yes.
for the ones that want to have a life, sign our agreements and let us represent you. We got something for everybody here. We're smart, not all the time. That's my motto. But again, that's the idea of selflessness, and you're working for the industry. You're not working for a paycheck. You're not working for profit. You're working for the need and the desire to create a calm, stable environment for people's businesses and personal lives to flourish. That's part of the accounting practice. Making sure that everyone can make rational decisions for their business future, and managing day-to-day operations. But again, that attitude breeds trust. If you keep to that and don't bring in a lot of other stuff, then you're going to do well and have a great reputation for your firm. And then the moments that you do show a little bit of your humanity in the proper channel, it will be seen more as a nice thing and a positive thing, because they'll see that side of you as well. So there is a bit of a balance, but everything has its time and place. Now, that leads into the time and place and the outside of things. So things like thought leadership and outside of your organization's operations, part of the whole thing of social responsibility and sustainability is, how are you seen outside the business? So what are you doing? Participating in events and volunteering in organizations that are aligned with your business goals, that are community building, industry building, synergy organizations that like tech hubs and business boosting, business improvement associations. Those types of participations are not only possible to bring in opportunities for your firm, but it also shows that you're giving back to the community, your region. You actually care about the business environment outside yourself, outside your firm. Again, builds more trust. Indirectly helps your marketing. It always does. Sorry, we got to be positive about that. We're in business to sustain and make money. But it also, again, though, what that participation is important. Keep it neutral, keep it positive, keep it business building, keep it aligned with your civic government. Their need to grow, be part of that growth. And you can do no wrong. And then it creates a great social setting for constructive relationships. You'll make new friendships, and friendships always lead to new opportunities as well. So that's what you do outside your business. And then you get a little more deep. You can actually sponsor these events, not just be a member as your firm progresses, and you can sponsor these events, set them up, do some pro bono work. If there's a favorite charity, do their tax return, do their books at cost or at a marginal rate. That's giving back. That's social responsibility. There's many charities.
I think you should still charge for the charities.
Well, I said at cost.
Because like I've given pro bono before to charities, like ones I've worked for, and it just ends up being. You ever notice like the ones that you give the most to take the most? So certain ones like are the biggest pain in the butt, because they're like, oh, I don't. There's no skin in this, so I don't really care. I'm not. Because I didn't pay for this, it doesn't seem like there's as much value in it, right? So
I see what you're saying, and it may vary from charity to charity, but I think at cost is the way to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Something reasonable, but that's but if someone's in a bind or there is that one act that could be remembered, or I think it's up to the individual manager to make that decision, weigh the pros and cons. Obviously, an ongoing free relationship for a business critical process is not recommended under any stretch of the imagination. Now, unless you can show an in-kind value or some type of tax advantage to do that, then you're technically not doing it for free. You're doing it for an advantage. So it all depends on how it appears, right?
Well, it's more about the relationship with that charity or that organization or
Mhm.
something, right? Like not necessarily your own benefit or tax write-offs or things like that, but the actual fact that you need to have it helps to manage expectations. So like because the more it seems like the more you give, the more it costs sometimes. So if you just give, instead of being like, like you said, do it at cost, then they know that there's value there, and and then you show them this is what it would cost,
Right.
and so we're giving you.
So what you're saying is be consistent, define it, and make them understand the value of what's being offered or
Yeah,
provided.
and to be
Um,
respectful.
yeah, yeah, to maintain that, and then there's not being abused. Absolutely, it sets the threshold and expectation. So the other thing is, there are cultural sensitivities people have to pay attention to. So yes, you can be as neutral as you want, but your workforce and the people you're going to be interacting with are parts of different cultures. And so we do live in a melting pot of cultures, but like in any melting pot, uh, everyone doesn't turn into the same. Everyone keeps their identity within the workplace. Instead of always accommodating identity is one thing, but learning about it, maybe acknowledging aspects of people's cultural identity. If there's a special holiday, special times, make out a calendar, make an awareness, and also give if it's possible, and it's a professional environment, so the people are or your employees workforce might be sophisticated enough, maybe give them the opportunity to do kind of a show and tell, or just like so that other people can learn that. The acknowledgement of diversity and learning about it is a great way to handle peace and kind of camaraderie, and people will discover great things. Usually it's food related, and I'm being going to be biased. I learn about cultures through food, and some cultures have incredible food, some incredibly spicy. But it's such a common thing for everyone, and nothing but laughter is going to occur and good times. Cultural sensitivities have to be maintained, but at the same time, learning is where that comes, as opposed to just accommodating. Oh, we can't do X because this person's from this culture and we don't want to offend. Okay, well that's a stand. But instead of white gold thing, let's learn about it. Let's learn about the history. Let's learn about this. So then that person feels much more part of the team, and you'll discover all kinds of cool stuff. And also, many accounting firms, as you grow, you might be outsourcing. You're going to be dealing with people overseas for efficiency. Heck, you might even try to do business overseas. You got to know this stuff. You got to be a player. Okay, so you got to be kind of open-minded and understand how all that stuff works.
I
So
agree.
yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of mentioned the outsourcing and then
Mm-hmm.
understanding different cultures and stuff. So I had a hard time at one point, almost biased towards North America. So I was like we should only be doing business in North America and this and that, and and then when I finally realized, okay, maybe I should be looking other places, I started researching the cultures of the places, the efficiency, all those
Mm-hmm.
different things, and I found that I actually got really good service somewhere else because I opened my mind up a little bit more beyond. Even though like we always hired like very very multicultural, and our team was and our clients were all very very multicultural, and they came from different areas, and I thought I believed it. I traveled the world and like served in different countries and stuff,
Oh, for
and
people that don't know, Ted, you were in the Marines, correct?
yeah, I was in the U.S. Marines. I was also in the Canadian Army. So yeah,
So you've served, yeah. So you've seen it. So you've been around.
yeah, I've been around the world doing stuff. So it's definitely interesting. But so I've been influenced with all these different cultures, but I almost forgot that when I was doing like my last accounting firm, because I was just like, I want to make sure I've always been like big on like business in North America, stay in North America. But as you all know, the accounting industry and the people, there's less people coming into the industry, and it's actually shrinking. So we need to actually focus on some of these outsourcing solutions. So I had to open my eyes a little bit because I've had a hard time finding people, really good employees. And I found out I got really good employees there. I opened my eyes. I started, considering cultural differences, of Like I always did of people here, but I had to start thinking about globally. What does that say for our company? What what are the advantages, disadvantages, all those things? Like you have to kind of think about that, right? So,
Well, absolutely. Put that in perspective. I mean, I'm not saying choose offshore as a rule of thumb.
no,
They still have to meet their performance objectives. They still have to meet their requirements for whatever you're contracted to do. But like the nations that we're in, like the United States, its vibrant economy is based on overseas trade. Yes, we have to pay attention to our regional employment and opportunities for our region. And if you are a community-based organization and not national, yeah, of course you're going to give preference for some roles to domestic, but other roles, as Ted said, could be far more efficiently performed by someone offshore. And you got to open that bridge, and then again comes in that level of awareness. If you're not healthy domestically because you're making choices to not do business offshore, you're not helping your community. You want to be a successful business, you have to have a balance. You have to use the opportunities that are given within ethical and legal means to make your business grow.
Yeah, and you don't have to do offshore at all. Yeah,
what's that?
If you can find the right people and you can do it at the right cost, and your clients are happy, and you don't do any offshoring or outsourcing, then that's great.
Yeah, it's possible.
Great. That can be your model, absolutely. But
it was whatever works.
As we all know, the stank reality is that it's becoming an issue finding qualified people to help us in running our firms and to help our clients. So I mean, you just have to be open minded. Maybe you don't do it, which is great. If you can run your firm without, that's wonderful. But I think we have to have our minds open. This isn't supposed to be an offshore and outsourcing discussion. I just wanted to bring it into the considering cultures and
it definitely falls into the cultural diversity and perception, Ted. Creating artificial rules and barriers in your mind is going to hurt your business. You make your decisions, set your criterion with rational thought and logic in business, not because of some perception that has nothing to do with debits and credits. Okay. Again, we get back to accounting principles. If it works for your business growth, then it's great. If it doesn't work for it, or you can't explain why you're imposing something in terms of business, then it should be brought into question. So that's kind of glossing over the whole concept of ethics, social responsibility, and sustainability. As we're getting close to wrapping up our series. Again, each one of the topics that we touched on in the blog for Step 11 and in the book, they can be subjects of great discussion on their own. So Ted, do you have any final words for Step 11 and final words for the series of New Age Accounting so that people can boldly go and become New Age accountants?
I would say be ethical, and be forward thinking, because the world is moving forward and you need to move with it, and it's very, very important. So I think the subject of the 11 areas with the 11 steps, this is very good. It's for like the New Age accountant, thinking about what you need to think, or what you need to think about as a New Age accountant and somebody wanting to move forward in the industry. That's great. There's a lot of information. Obviously, take it bite by bite. And if you can implement some or all of this, that would be great. You'll definitely do well in your career. I think look forward to more types of subjects coming out. Right now, this is our first one, with the 11 areas and 11 steps. But eventually we'll be breaking down a lot of these things, and we'll probably bring more information, especially in the marketing world, because as you know, we are in the marketing and sales realm of accounting, so we understand it pretty well, and we would love to bring some of that knowledge to you. Yeah, so I hope you keep in touch with us and keep watching us. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests come on podcasts, and vlogcast, I guess, if you're watching from YouTube. So keep in touch.
So the future holds. Yes, we have guests that are some of our partners, and some are just experts in their field. This series is going to become an ebook and book for people to get, and we're going to have workshops and events related to some of the subjects that have been covered as we move forward. So give us your feedback. If you're on YouTube, comment. If you're on the podcast, you'll give us feedback at, you can go back to our website, accountants20.com. Find us on Facebook. We have our group there for accounting growth and excellence. We have all kinds of ways of getting in touch with us. And we love to give feedback. We love to interact. At the end of the day, we want to help you grow. We want your business to grow. We want everyone to be successful. There's so much winning out there. If you just stick to your principles and stick to the stuff that we talk about in these 11 steps. So again, I'm Steve Perpich with Ted Williamson. We're Accountants 2.0, and have a great day.
Have a great day.